Fear feels natural, automatic, as if you were born with it. But what if that's not true at all? Think about it. A child is not afraid of the dark until someone teaches them to be. A loud noise startles you once, but after repetition, your body panics before you can even think. We say things like, I'm just like this, or fear is part of who I am. But is it really? Why does your heart race even when nothing is wrong? Why does fear appear faster than logic? And why does it feel so hard to let it go, even when you know it's holding you back? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Fear is not who you are. Fear is something your subconscious learned. Your mind is like a sponge. It absorbs experiences, words, emotions, and moments of danger, especially when you're young or vulnerable. Over time, those moments become patterns. And those patterns start running your life quietly, in the background, without your permission. But here's the good news, and this is important. What was learned can be unlearned. So stay with me until the end of this video because you'll discover how your subconscious learned fear in the first place and how awareness, science, and a simple daily practice can help you begin letting it go. Why does fear feel so personal and yet so automatic? Why do you react before you even have time to think? Think about your own life. You're not afraid of everything. You're afraid of specific things: speaking up, being rejected, losing control, being judged. That alone already tells us something important. Fear is selective, and if it's selective, it was learned. We even say it in everyday language. I learned the hard way. Once bitten, twice shy. That experience scarred me. These aren't just figures of speech. They're clues. They reveal how the mind works. Ancient philosophy understood this long before brain scans existed. Aristotle believed fear was not born with us, but shaped by experience and interpretation. To him, emotions were not enemies. They were habits of perception. Change how you perceive, and the emotion changes with it. Eastern traditions went even further. In Buddhism, fear is not seen as an inherent part of the self, but as a conditioned response, something that arises because of past causes. The mind touches pain once, and then tries to protect itself forever. Like a hand that touched fire and never forgets the burn. And in daily life, you see this everywhere. One embarrassing moment at school can teach the subconscious to fear attention for decades. One emotional wound can turn love into danger. The mind doesn't ask if the threat is still real. It only asks, have I felt this pain before? This is why fear feels older than logic. It comes from memory, not reason. From the past, not the present. Philosophers called this conditioning. Today we might call it programming, but the insight is the same. Fear is not truth. It is habit, it is repetition. It is the echo of yesterday trying to protect you today. And here's the key realization philosophy offers. If fear was conditioned through experience, then it is not fixed. What has a beginning can have an end. What was trained can be retrained. So the real question is no longer, what's wrong with me? The real question becomes, what did my subconscious learn? And is it still necessary? Hold on to that question because now it's time to look at what modern science has discovered about fear, learning, and the brain itself. So how does the brain actually learn fear? Why does your body react before your mind has a chance to decide? Science gives us a clear answer. Fear is trained through repetition and emotional intensity. Deep inside your brain, there's a small structure called the amygdala. Think of it like an overprotective alarm system. Its only job is survival. It doesn't care about logic, context, or time. It only cares about one question. Has this ever hurt me before? When something frightening happens, an argument, rejection, danger, shame, the brain takes a snapshot. Not a picture, but a feeling. Heart rate, tension, emotion. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the imprint. Like carving a message into wet cement. The next time something even remotely similar appears, the alarm goes off. Same feeling, same tension. Same fear, even if the situation is completely different. That's why fear feels automatic. The brain is not choosing fear. It is remembering it. Neuroscientists call this fear conditioning. Your subconscious connects an experience with a feeling and then repeats that response to keep you safe. It's like learning to flinch after touching a hot stove. Useful at first, limiting later. Here's the part most people don't realize. Every time fear is triggered and you react the same way, the pathway gets stronger. Neurons that fire together wire together. Fear becomes familiar. Familiar becomes automatic. But science also shows something hopeful. Those pathways are not permanent. The brain is plastic. Change the experience and the wiring can change too. This process is called reconsolidation. When a fear memory is activated and met with awareness instead of panic, the brain updates it. That's why awareness is so powerful. When you notice fear without feeding it, the alarm starts to weaken. The brain learns a new lesson. This is not danger anymore. And this is why the practice at the end of this video matters. It's not symbolic, it's biological. You're not fighting fear, you're retraining the system that learned it. So stay with me because in the final part, you'll learn how to turn this understanding into a simple practice that helps your subconscious finally let go. Let's bring everything together. Fear is not who you are. Fear is something your subconscious learned. Philosophy showed us that fear is habit, not truth. Science showed us that fear is conditioning, not destiny. And your own life proved it. Fear appears from memory, not from the present moment. Now imagine this. Imagine waking up and noticing fear still appears. But it no longer controls you. Your body reacts, but you don't panic. Your thoughts arise, but you don't believe every one of them. Fear becomes a signal, not a command. That is what unlearning fear looks like. Not erasing it, but changing your relationship with it. Here's a simple practice you can start today. The next time fear appears, don't try to fix it. Don't argue with it. Don't push it away. Instead, pause. Take one slow breath and silently say, "This is learned." Then notice where fear lives in your body. Tight chest, shallow breath, tension in the stomach. Stay with the sensation for a few seconds without reacting. Like watching a wave rise and fall. Why does this work? Because fear feeds on resistance and avoidance. When you observe it calmly, the subconscious receives new information. The alarm expects danger, but nothing happens. Over time, the brain updates the memory. The pathway weakens. What once felt automatic begins to soften. This is not magic. This is how learning works. The same way fear was trained through repetition, it is untrained through awareness. Practice this gently, again and again. Not to become fearless, but to become free. And now I want to hear from you. Did this video help you see fear differently? Did something click for you today? Share it in the comments. Your insight might help someone else loosen the grip of fear too. And if you want to keep exploring how to reprogram the subconscious and transform daily life, subscribe. New videos every week, guiding you deeper into the place where science meets spirituality and fear no longer runs the show.